There's an acceleration, like, I'm sure everybody's experiencing time speeding up, right? Everybody, the hours are shorter in the day, and they truly are. And there's an acceleration factor because we need to achieve, when you want to exit linear time, you have to exit at 90 degrees. If you want to time travel with your, like when I travel with my greater being just exits at 90 degrees. Okay? And the time is speeding up. So for this planetary body to reach critical mass, it has to speed up. And it's spinning around the sun proportionally at the same time spinning on its axis faster. So you don't actually realise it's happening. And we're on like a J-curve. It's like a logarithmic J-curve. And the acceleration factor is 24,832 years. Right? And that's the fixed timeline. Okay, from there to there, the fixed timeline. And we're on this one, which is called the illusionary timeline. That's where it steps in. And yes, it is an illusion to a certain degree, but not the extent that I was talking about previously. And we are going through an acceleration process, and that is plus 6.18%, which is 1/5 for the people who are into that sort of thing. The 5 is the golden ratio, that's the heart. Okay, that's the numbers involved with creating that spiral, the golden spiral. Now, when you recalculate, like if today they were to recalculate the precession, they would find that it's 26,100 years or something. Because when this is completed on the 21st of March 2013, it will be 26,366.618 years. And again, we have the golden ratio on the end. So I just needed to clear that up. So, for those people who are really into that kind of thing. So, because I keep seeing all these fantastic researchers and they're stuck on that 25,920 years. And if they were just to move across and look at those numbers, just consider them in their calculations, bang, it'll all just open up for them. Everything would just go clunk, 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 clunk. All the cogs would sit in the place, all the pieces of their puzzles would come together. But a lot of them just don't like the fact that who's this guy from down under who's saying this stuff? Who does he think he is, right? Well, it's inside each and every one of you, this knowledge. Okay, please, it's not an egoic thing. Okay? Now, knowing that that's the cycle, and knowing that that number 5 is the Christ vortex number. So we're basically taking the Christ energy and we're injecting it into the duration of the cycle. So the outcome of that is the value of the 15 just happens to be the sum of your DNA codons. Okay? That number, that's what it equals. The number, you get 153, which is the Magdalene, right? Just a coincidence, right? Just a coincidence. 34 is the DNA wavelength. So the wavelength of the DNA from there to there is 34 angstroms. So you can see when you take that duration of the cycle and you inject the Christ energy into it, it plugs in. It plugs into your DNA. It plugs into the divine feminine. It plugs into everything. If people would just look at those numbers, they're missing out on a lot. They really are. And the 47 is the flock. And in the Hebrew alphabet, the Magdalene, the Magdalene, is the tower of the flock. Okay? Just another coincidence. Now, if you take the duration of the cycle of 24,832 again, and you put the 64 codons into it, you get 388. And in gematria, that is the sun. Just another coincidence, right? So I could rattle stuff off all day to do with gematria and the numbers, but I'm not going to do that. So let's keep it simple. I've mentioned before that the universal consciousness has manifested itself as Father, Son, Mother Earth in order to personally facilitate our return to oneness and ascension into the golden age. So that's what I've got on my website with these articles, right? So I've got written, check this out. If people don't think that this is Mother Earth and that's Father, Son. 24832 again. And the gematria value for Sophia is 781. And the answer you get is 31.8, which is Helios, the Greek word for the sun. Just another coincidence. So, let's take 24832 again, and this time we'll inject into it the number 681, because that's the gematria equivalent of the word planet in Greek. And let's see what we get. We get 365. So you get the 365 days of the year, and 365 is Mithras, the sun god, in gematria equivalent. Just another coincidence, right? Oh, gematria is not real. It can't be real. Right, let's try this one on for size. Let's take the cycle again, 24832, and let's put the word Jesus Christ into it. And that value is 2368. Now, you get 10.486, 486, 486, 486, and on it goes recurring, right? Now 10 is the value of Gaia, written in Greek. You can spell it that way, or you can spell it with an I, it doesn't matter. I'll get into both numbers in a minute. They both match up beautifully. Just another coincidence. You put Jesus into the cycle, you get Gaia. What does the 486 mean? Petra. And who was the rock behind Jesus? Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is the rock, not Peter the Apostle. Mary Magdalene is the true rock of Christianity. Forever. I don't care what anyone else says. Forever. The truth will always be the truth. If you want to break it up again, it also equals honey, the sweet nectar of life. What a beautiful woman she is. 1048 just happens to be the word microcosm. Isn't that what we're doing here? It's a fractal of the rest of the universe. This is the microcosm of the macrocosm. It just goes on and on and on. Right, let's get 781, which is Sophia, right? And let's put into it 388, which is the sun. And that gives us 2.512. There's your 2012. 886. Now, when in gematria you're using harmonics, right? You can go 1 or 2 either side of the numeric value and it still applies. It's still valid. It's like an analog phone to a digital. You can still hear it, still connect, but digital phones, they just drop out, right? So we're talking harmonics, we're talking relationship. So when you get numbers that are close, it's still valid. So in harmonics, 888 would still be valid here, and that is Jesus. And you get 2012. And 128 is 1 from 127, which just happens to be, 127, for all those number buffs, equals the square root of phi of the Christ vortex. It just goes on, folks. And now I wish to share with you what I feel is incredibly important. This is what I understand about our friend pi. Okay, sorry, I've just got to change the tape. I'll do this one thing and then we'll get into questions. Okay. Now I wish to share with you what I feel is incredibly important. This is what I understand about our friend pi. Okay, I'll read it out. Pi to me is about the relationship between the masculine, the feminine, which is the circle, and the masculine, the line. It is the divine ratio of our Heavenly Mother and our Heavenly Father. If we take pi and inject it into the sphere of the Mother, the complete circle, completion, wholeness or oneness, the result speaks for itself. You just can't, and there's more, like I've got pages of these equations. I can just keep going, but I don't want to do it to you. I think I've made my point, okay? I think I've made my point. You can't deny it any longer. Well, you can. You can live in denial of it if you like. But I mean, it's beyond any sort of coincidence. It's ridiculous. All right, so question time, everybody. Please ask me anything, don't hold back, go for it, and if I can answer it, I will. I'll do my best. Yeah, we're going to bring around a mic for you. Yeah.
With the ascension process, obviously you're an adult, you choose what you're doing. As parents, you can naturally ask, okay, what happens to the children?
Thank you. That's a really good question because I've gone through these issues myself as a parent. Now, the way I truly feel about it, deep in my heart, is whatever the soul journey of my child is, that's what I will honour. As heartbreaking as it may be, to have to let go of your child into the false light or into technology, or even wants to be at a certain place in time where it'll perish and the earth changes, whatever takes place, that is the journey of that individual soul. That's how I look at my children. I don't look at them as me, the earthly father. You know, I used to. I've had to move beyond that and look at the bigger picture of life and look at them as a greater being than just my son or my daughter. So I honour and I respect them, and that's me expressing unconditional love. If you truly love something, you will set it free.
We have 3 children. 2 of the smaller ones have said to me on a number of occasions, "Oh, Mum, when you go, we want to come with you." And I've never said when you pass away or anything like that. It's always been when you go, can we come with you? So does that have relevance? Yeah,
what I know is there's going to be young children, like as parents, we've been on the planet longer than a lot of our children have. And the children that are being born today are so highly aware that a lot of children will be actually guiding the parents when the time comes. Right? Yeah, they know in their hearts where they're going. There's, you know, and some are so strong. There's, you know, their parents won't break their will. As controlling as some of them are, they won't break them. They're in for a rude shock coming up in the next few years.
Jeez.
Yeah.